Okay. Jacquelyn says, about a month ago, I began the sugar elimination paleo meal plan. I needed to lose a lot of weight. I have spinal stenosis, severe lumbar, arthritis, and in the right hip. High blood pressure, prediabetes, Hashimoto's, lactose and gluten intolerant, etc. I take medication for the high blood pressure and the Hashimoto's disease. I've been going to the gym for 18 months, working on various muscle groups and doing cardio. I lost nothing, but my muscles did firm up, so I lost inches. My doctor and physical therapist were both nagging me to change something to get the weight off. I met with a friend of mine who has a company called Verri Well, and she advised me to do this sugar elimination plan, basically meat, veggies, and fruit each meal, and see how it goes. And I did. Within 4 days, the chronic pain I had in my lumbar spine and right hip disappeared. I continued eating meals based on the plan and going to the gym or walking every day. And at the end of the month, I went to my doctor's office for a check-in. I lost 35 pounds in the first month. My doctor freaked out, saying it was dangerous for my organs what I was doing, and I needed to slow down the weight loss and put peanut butter, bananas back in my diet and lose the citrus fruits. Well, I'm not going to do that because I feel like it would hinder my progress. I like the way I'm feeling. My doctor added that my heart and kidneys would not be able to take the rapid weight loss. So I'm asking you for a general opinion. If I'm working out every day and sticking to a paleo meal plan, is a weight loss of 35 pounds for the first month unheard of or dangerous for my organs if my starting weight was 280 pounds? If so, what should the amount of pounds be for weight loss, or does it even matter? I can see my doctor's position if I was anorexic or bulimic, but this is not the case at all. Thank you for reading. I really need your help with this.
So the for me, the really important stuff is right there at the end. So her starting weight is 280 pounds. She doesn't mention how tall she is or anything, but I mean, for most people, that's pretty sizable. If she's 6'5", that may wear pretty well. If she's 5'4", then that, she's significantly overweight. And 35 pounds lost in a month is only a little bit over a 10% weight loss in that first month. And we all know that when we're shifting from kind of a standard mixed Western diet to a lower carb Paleo West type diet, one of the big things that we see is significant water loss during that period. So possibly as much as like 20 pounds of water may have been lost during this process. Her inflammation, likely plummeted. Her insulin decreased. If her insulin decreases, then aldosterone decreases. If aldosterone decreases, you don't retain sodium. And so you pee out a bunch of water. And so a huge chunk of this weight loss is more than likely coming from just water shifting. And so doctors freak out from really huge weight shifts because it can mean someone has developed diabetes, someone has cancer. Like there are some really nasty, disease states that in your intake form, frequently it will say, have you experienced significant weight loss in the last 6 months? And if it's a yes, then it really perks the healthcare provider's ears up because that matters. It can mean something pretty nasty. Again, like cancer or something like that. More than likely, this is not the case here. What the case is somebody who was pretty overweight, started a lowish carb, paleo type, anti-inflammatory diet, almost certainly lost a ton of water weight as a beginning place with this. And so if we saw, let's say, 20 pounds of water weight loss, which wouldn't be unreasonable at all, that's less than 10% of her total body weight in this scenario, and then 15 pounds of fat loss during that period, which again wouldn't be crazy in the beginning stages of a weight loss plan, that's pretty reasonable. And so I can, on the one hand, understand why your doctor would be pretty concerned about this, but it's tough because these folks don't see what can happen when you actually have a motivated individual use a technique that's really effective, like kind of a low-carb paleo type diet. So as always, it would be great if before you enact a change like this, we have blood work before. You go 30 or 60 days, we do blood work afterwards. Maybe we track some basic blood work every 30 days. Just to keep an eye on that. But the whole notion that your organs are going to fail because of, healthy basic weight loss seems kind of ridiculous to me. You're actually reducing the load on your heart and kidneys by going through this process.
But maybe it's just not that standard, advice, like you shouldn't lose more than 1 to 2 pounds a week for, what they call safe, in quotation marks, safe weight loss.
Right. Yeah. And, the funny thing with that is that we definitely have people who develop disordered eating, and they can have some really kind of crazy approaches to food, and that can lead into some problems down the road. But the vast majority, we have kind of oriented our whole weight loss intervention and the counseling that occurs from doctors and dietitians oriented as if every single person is a disordered eater. And that is just not the case. What the case actually is that we have, estimates somewhere perhaps as high as 70% of the U.S. population is insulin resistant heading towards diabetic. That has the potential to bankrupt our economy and cause calculable amounts of suffering and problems there. And so I really think that we've got the emphasis misplaced in that regard. Yes, we do need to be mindful about people adopting strategies for healthy lifelong eating and all that type of stuff. But the disordered eater is not the process that's going to upend westernized economies. The diabesity epidemic absolutely is, and having nervous nanny hand-wringing over effective fat loss and weight loss is not really a smart thing.